What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a story time for y'all that was sent in to me about a dude's stepbrother just going ballistic over his presents. Should be pretty entertaining. Before we get into it, press the like button or no joke, no scam. Someone will freak out about getting Christmas presents, and without further ado, let's get into it.
I'm getting quiet now. Laying low when you reach zone, biting down, making out, stack the bread.
Alright, so like I said, this story time was sent in to me about this dude's stepbrother from a year ago now. So, first things first, Merry Christmas, everybody. But I guess this dude's stepbrother was the type of person that when Christmas came would, like, literally write down everything he wanted in a giant list and give it to his parents. And, you know, I think everybody kind of has the idea that, like, your Christmas list should be reasonable gifts and maybe something that isn't going to cause, like, your family to go bankrupt. But this dude's list was absolutely nuts. It was an Xbox, PS5, PC, all of it, and he literally expected to get all of it. In fact, he made it very clear that everything on the list relied upon each other. So, you know, if he didn't get it all, he was going to be severely disappointed. And based off just, like, the big items that were told to me, this list was in the thousands and thousands of dollars. And he literally, like, the entire month, he gave his parents the list on December 1st. The entire month is like, you know, if you guys don't deliver, I'm going to be severely disappointed. You know, I've been counting on this all year. If I don't get these gifts, it's really going to be disappointing to me, guys. And obviously that didn't make him the most popular person in the household, because nobody likes somebody that keeps being like, you have to buy me stuff on my list, and if you don't, then I'm gonna be mad at you. Because I don't know what it is, man, but some people just don't understand that, like, a gift is a choice. You know, sure, we're supposed to give gifts to people on Christmas, but it's not, like, they don't have to. Whatever. Anyways, he's telling everybody that he's gonna get everything on his list, and obviously his parents don't get him everything there, because, like I said, this list would have been like tens of thousands of dollars. It wasn't even just the stuff I listed. It was like all the accessories for a PC, capture cards, literally everything. Like, if his parents would have actually gone through with what he wanted and gotten everything on the list, they probably would have had to open a new credit card, bro, take out a second mortgage on the house. Like, it just would have been nuts. So whatever, obviously he comes down on Christmas morning and there's a lot of presents there. It's not like his parents didn't get him anything. And he immediately starts counting all the presents, and he has a copy of his list and he's going through counting, and his parents are kind of like, you know, what are you doing? And he gets to the end of the list and he goes, I asked for 85 things and there's only 32 gifts here. Why isn't there enough gifts for everything that I got? And his parents are kind of surprised, right? And obviously, like, this behavior would be annoying no matter what, but it's at this point that I find out that this is this dude's 27-year-old stepbrother who's been living at home ever since he graduated. So his parents are kind of like sitting there reeling, like taking this in, literally reeling, not being able to say anything. Because imagine a 27-year-old that's been living with you, you know, ever since he graduated college, is telling you that you ruined Christmas because you didn't get him all his presents, and the first thing he did when he came downstairs was count. You'd be like, is this 20 years ago? You know, are you a 7-year-old? And his parents, instead of being like, you're right, we'll get you the gifts, are like, dude, you have got to be kidding me right now. I would be mad if, you know, your younger brother was doing this because he's a teenager. But the fact that you're adult counting your presents and getting mad at us for not getting you enough stuff is seriously one of the most annoying things I could have ever expected. So I don't know what's wrong with you, but you better check your attitude, which was like a warning, right? And instead of heeding the warning, his stepbrother decides to, like, double down. And he says, I know I'm 27 years old and I live at home, but I need certain things to maintain my quality of life. So when the stuff I ask for doesn't get delivered to me, it makes me upset because now my life is gonna suffer and it's all your fault. If I don't have the newest video games to keep me entertained, what is there for me to look forward to? And, you know, everybody's just kind of sitting there slack-jawed, and at that point his dad starts yelling at him. He's like, dude, you barely work, you're 27, you don't pay rent, you barely have a job, and on top of it, the only thing you ever do is play games. Me and your mom are not gonna, like, buy everything on your Christmas list. If anything, the gift that I'm giving you is that, like, you know, you get to live here and not pay rent, and you're almost 30 years old. That's a pretty good gift that I'm giving you. Which I don't think this guy ever understands that, like, yeah, paying rent is probably the biggest bill for most people each month, so, like, his parents doing that is actually a giant help. because he says something that is like definitely not true. He says, well, you're my parent, so you have to let me live with you. You basically have no option. What are you gonna do? Kick me out onto the street? And that was his justification for why he's allowed to act like this, is like, sure, I'm 27 and I live at home, and I know that's crazy, but you know, you're my parent, so I'm allowed to do this. And that's not really how it works. And at that point, his parents just look at each other and then look at him and go, January 1st, you need to be out. That's it. We've let you overstay your welcome. We should have kicked you out years ago. Go ahead and open all your presents and you'll see what we got you. And so at that point, he's like, whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean you're kicking me out? And they're like, yeah, January 1st, I'm kicking you out. You're done. This attitude this morning just reaffirmed our decision. We were going to surprise you, but yeah, it's time. You need to go get your own place. And so he starts opening all of these presents that they had gotten him, and like they had basically been planning this for a little bit, right? I don't know if they expected him to go nuts on Christmas morning or if that just made their decision even easier, but they had basically bought him everything that he needed to move out and live on his own for Christmas, right? Like they had bought him all the pots and pans, all the sheets, literally everything. They were like, all right, now you can move out. You don't have to buy anything. So get out. And obviously, dude, they had planned it because they had gotten the gifts. But I'm sure if you know, you're kind of torn about kicking your kid out and then he starts screaming at you for not buying him his entire Christmas list, it probably makes things way easier. Like, all things considered, why didn't you buy me an Xbox and a PlayStation? I hate this house. I'm 27 years old. How do you expect me to like my life if you're not giving me $7,000 a month to spend on video games? You're like, nope, I'm making the right decision. Good luck out there. Alright guys, I'm going to interrupt the video for just 1 second. On screen now is a gift card. For those of you that don't know, I give one of these away every day, so you might as well subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on free money. And yeah, while I got your attention, press the like button, or no joke, no scam, your mom's a hoe, and let's get back to it. Thank you very much. Obviously, his stepbrother is not too stoked about the fact that his Christmas gift is being kicked out, right? But to be fair, they did give him everything he needs. You know, if he's been saving his money like apparently he told him he has, then that should have been a big help. But he's like, why are you guys kicking me out? I don't understand. And at that point, his parents are just pissed, so they're brutal with him. They're like, because you're 27 years old and mad at us for not buying everything on your Christmas list. So obviously, somewhere along the lines as parents, we failed you. So that's on us. But yeah, you need to understand real life if you're going to be almost 30 screaming at me about your Christmas list, because that's just not gonna fly, man. No wonder you haven't gotten a promotion at work. I can't imagine how you talk to your boss when he asks you to do anything. And like, his stepbrother just starts screaming about how, I don't want to go out into the real world. People are mean out there. And he's like just screaming over and over again about how the real world sucks. And listen, man, the real world is not the easiest thing on the planet, but it doesn't suck that bad. It's not like the scariest thing to ever exist in the history of the planet. It can be intimidating. I'm just going to assume the real world definitely sucks if you've never been out there and for the past 27 years, everything's been taken care of for you, you know? Anyways, at that point, the subscriber decides to get involved, which probably wasn't the best idea, but he says something along the lines of like, hey man, it's probably just time to move out. You are almost 30. And his brother looked at him and he's like, I bet you this was your fault. You're the one that told them to kick me out. And both of his parents are like, no, that's not true. He had nothing to do with this decision. But he takes off his shoe, like his slipper, because it's Christmas morning, and just throws it at his brother. And his brother dodges it. And after he dodges it, instead of like running for his life, he starts laughing because, you know, I don't think a slipper's gonna do much damage. So he just starts laughing at him, being like, bro, did you just throw a shoe at me? Like, what's wrong with you? And when he said that, the brother just kind of charged him a bit and was like trying to fight him, but you know, has the fighting skills of like what you would expect a 27-year-old that like just refuses to move out and is freaking out about Christmas gifts. I want to make it clear, there's nothing wrong with like living at home, right? Like, in my opinion, I don't hate anyone that does that. But yeah, if you live at home and you expect your mommy and daddy to buy you new Xboxes, yeah, you kind of cringe. Whatever. At that point, the parents separated them and like calmed down, and the house had a super awkward tension for the rest of the day. They kept hearing his brother like arguing with his parents about, are you guys really gonna kick me out? And they were like, yeah, you know, you're 27, it's time. And sure enough, dude, they helped him find an apartment, all that stuff, and January 1st came around and they kicked him out, which, you know, I'm honestly surprised. Usually in these stories when that happens, like, it doesn't end up working. But of course, he moves out and like it doesn't have the easiest time adjusting because he lived at home for 30 years and he just apparently blames his parents for everything now. And literally, apparently, every time he talks to his brother, brings up how this year would have been a lot better if he got everything for Christmas. And he gave them another Christmas list this year. So, you know, I bet you there's going to be some more disappointment today. Hopefully your day wasn't as disappointing as his is going to be. But for real, even though he's worse off, I bet you his parents are a lot happier. I'm sure not having that type of attitude and energy around makes the house way more peaceful. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. As I said, Merry Christmas. I hope you guys all got everything you wanted today and had a great time with your families. If you enjoyed, please be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought. And of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on notifications. If you really want to help me out, I'll put a link to the intro song down below, along with a link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast. And of course, you could use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout to get a discount on the energy drink. And yeah, last but certainly not least, if you want to listen to some of my story times on Spotify, I'll put a link down below. Feel free to go check that out if you want to listen offline or without gameplay. And of course, we've got the Christmas Karen sweater, which is going to be the top link in the description. Feel free to check it out in honor of Christmas. And yeah, that'll do it for the video. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.